It's Ronnie, and welcome to Ginger's Corner's special event, Secret Santa 12 Days of Christmas. And today is the 8th day, so it's Maids of Milking. And for that, we are going to create milk and cookies for Santa. And I'm using this cute little die set. Oh, and that black die is um, diamond press, and it's one of the Christmas. It's in one of the Christmas collection, and the other is a milk and cookies for Santa die set. I'm gonna use that largest doily, and I already cut it out, and it was kind of like a gingham, so it's not completely solid, but I thought it'd look cute behind the other stuff here. I had a white one cut out first, but then I decided with my milk and my bowl being white, I needed something else. I cut this little strip and I did layer it, it's wood grain, and I did layer it, I think 3 layers is what I layered it, just so it'd be out a little like a shelf and the other things could sit on there. And I started to put my milk bottle there down on the white, and I thought, well, I already did one of these videos and put something on white that I watched the video later and thought, oh, I really should have used a different color. So that's why the red is sitting there. I'm using that heavenly blue to do the edges with on the white, so they're just not stark white. And I cut off the top of that, of course, to make it look like I had milk in there. And, oh, I started to say, did I start on something else? I think I was just seeing if it set straight when I did that. I used a piece of candy cane. Well, I pulled it out for the straw, and then I thought, well, I'll do a label-like thing with it. I was going to do milk on there, but the smallest letters I had still had the K hanging off. So that just wasn't going to work. So there's not going to be any milk on there. But that paper worked really well for my straw there. I didn't have a glass, and I could have made one by hand, but then I thought of the straw, and I thought that'll be awesome with the bottle. And you see, I put that little red cap over there. I had it planned to set it in the front of the milk bottle and hang off of it towards the left, towards the bowl. I forgot all about it, and it's still not on there. I didn't think about it till I saw myself do that, but I will probably put it on there before it gets shipped to my partner. If I can find it, I sure hope it didn't get lost when I cleaned up. If I can find it, it'll go on there. These were the smallest cookies in the die set. At least I think they're cookies. There's like several circles, so I think that so you can have a variety of sizes. And I thought I'd make them all 3 differently. And so this first one is going to be chocolate chip. And I cut out 2 of the things of chocolate chip because it has like several on the die, thinking I was going to do them all chocolate chip. But then I got the idea to make them all 3 different instead. And the cookie for the other video that I made had holes already cut, and you just put 1 piece of chocolate behind there. And this one took just a little bit longer, but it had a similar effect when I got done. I am just using tea dye ink for my oven browning on my cookies, and it's just the right amount of brown, in my opinion. I've heard people say they use corduroy, but I like the tea dye. And this is a piece of burlap. It came with a crosshatch looking thing for you to make peanut butter cookies. At least I thought that's what it looked like. Or icing. You could do either one. And they didn't have anything small enough for these little tiny cookies. So the only thing I could think of was to get the burlap out and cut a chunk off of it and put it on here. So I browned it a little bit. And I think I ended up browning it just a tiny bit more. Yeah. and add just a little bit more on there. And this one, I thought I'd do icing. And I thought if I just tried to do it by hand, it would probably be way too big. Well, I took that pencil and went around it. And I made sure I cut on the inside of it and made little squiggly lines, doing it so it wouldn't be perfect. And it's too big. I just shook my head and thought, oh, that's great. So I had to trim just a wee bit more off of it. And I spoke too soon because I'm going to put the ink on it. I forgot about that. At first, to go lay it out there to see how big it is, it was just a bit too much. So I'm cutting a little bit more off of there. And of course, then I got to throw a little bit more ink on there. And I think this is smoothie or something. I can't remember what it is. Y'all seen the little thing there? Maybe you could hit pause and see what it was. I thought it would look cheerful for Santa. Now, there wasn't a picture uh, that showed what this bowl looking thing was and what it's supposed to be used for. So that's why I had to make a base for it because I thought it looked kind of funny without anything to keep it sitting there solid. So I made the base and I'm using it for a bowl. Seriously, there was no picture or anything to show what it was for. But it worked for my layout because first I thought I'd make a platter in the background and just set everything on it. But then I thought I seen the bowl looking thing and thought I could put my cookies in there. And as I said, this garland's from Diamond Press. And I have two different die sets that are Christmas, so I can't remember which one it came out of. I'd have to find an actual picture. They send them in white cardboard looking envelopes, and so they aren't in a regular uh, packaging. I am putting glue on each one of the it's little holes that punch out. I don't know if you're supposed to back them in red, which I have, or put red dots on top, which I have, and that's what I'm doing today, or just leave them empty. I didn't see a picture of that either. I have just, but I love this little garland. I use it every year, and I think I've had it probably 5 years now. But it works out really good for when you want something smaller, or if you just need to like do a border or whatever, or just twine it in like I am going to do here. However, it is too long to just twine in and not have it just hanging way off. So I'm going to cut it a little bit and fit it in the way I want it to fit in. But truth be told, all the way up until the time I had it, the little red dots on and the highlights on, and I got ready to put it on here, I planned on clipping off a berry with a little, what looks like holly leaves, and putting one on the bowl and one on the label on the milk. But then I thought, oh, I can't resist using it as garland, so it's getting used that way instead. And I think it looks better probably. But since I planned on putting it in the middle of the bowl like a decoration kind of sort of thing, I'm going to keep looking at that white bowl and end up doing something with it right at the end. I don't think I do anything after I do that. I'm adding my white highlights to the rest of the little cluster, and I don't think I, well, I'm getting close to the end, but I think I've got time. Oh, there's like an empty spot over there on the other side of the milk, and I thought if there are any extras assembled in this little leftover bit on this ornament thing, I'm going to put one here on the shelf. You know how they'll just lay them around decorating. That's what I thought in my head. And so I put the one that had some red on it and add a little bit more cheerfulness to it. And in that set is snowflakes too. They got ornaments, two different sizes, and the snowflakes and stars. And I put a snowflake on the front of the bowl. But it was a super fun embellishment to make. And yeah, milk and cookies for Santa. And I think the little peanut butter one turned out really good, knowing it was burlap dye instead. But I do want to mention that down there below you'll find the link to Ginger's Corners Facebook group, and they do swaps in there. You can sign up for a swap, and you will send somebody else whatever the theme is of that swap, and they'll send you something back. I think there's like 4 in one swap and 10 in the big one. And so you make 4 of the same thing or different things and mail it off and see what you get back. And also, there is a link for the playlist, which is super awesome. One click, you can see all the embellishments for this hop, plus embellishments for ever since they started the playlist. But I want to thank you all so very, very much for joining me today while I created my embellishment. I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.